Now, how do they make money?
We have the enterprise, we have the data centers, right? And
Yeah.
then we have the AI space.
Nothing short of remarkable. We've built an entire data center, if you will, or hyperscale infrastructure from zero. The math does not, it's hard to conceptualize.
Yeah. I just had a great discussion with Dennis Reed from Edgewater Research. Don't want to miss it. We have the enterprise, we have the data centers, right? And then we have the AI space. So you need to tell, let's talk about the AI space.
Yeah, no, it's great. I mean, first and foremost, like what has transpired over the last 2 years is nothing short of remarkable. We've built an entire data center, if you will, or hyperscale infrastructure from zero. In NVIDIA, to date, it's largely benefited NVIDIA, obviously, but their sales in their data center group is the best proxy of it. And it's not 100% GPUs or anything like that, but in October of 23, NVIDIA did about $4 billion October of 22.
Yeah.
They did about $4 billion in their data center business. In their April of 24 quarter, it's going to be 24 or 25 billion.
Yeah.
Which, you annualize that, and it's a $16 billion division to $100 billion into the math does not, it's hard to conceptualize how remarkable that's been. And so, that at the top level, and that's why I say I think it's important to look at NVIDIA, because if you look just at the raw server units, last year units were down 13% overall. But obviously that was in that market where GPU units went from GPU based or AI units went from 50 to 300,000. So we're still talking relatively small server units, but extremely high dollar transactions. So that's kind of the way to think about it and frame it. And I think what I would argue, when you just think of that NVIDIA case number I gave, I would argue we've built the infrastructure from scratch to size right now.
Yeah.
And so now it's, how do these companies, whether it's any of your hyperscalers, how do any of these companies have spent billions of dollars building this? Now, how do they make money off of it? So I think we're going to enter into a little bit of where, I don't think that $100 billion number for NVIDIA goes to 400 billion next year. I think we enter that where you've seeded the market, and now we're in a use case utilization type marketplace. Because the thing to me, and I think, to the best of my ability, and there might be listeners that are better versed, than me on this. But when I kind of think about it, and you think about, which, you could go down the whole realm of protecting your own data and everything else, right? I find it hard for any company, just take industrial company that makes widgets that wants to lever the power of AI and machine learning, and they're going to go to an outside provider who built this model.
Yeah.
In that environment, I find it hard to believe that that industrial company is going to allow their data to escape their own four walls and enter into the training of future models or future tools for users. So, this is, to me, where the market pivots potentially for, you start building use cases and you start having, a model that's trained, built, and it's kind of walled off, which maybe you could argue a little bit goes against the spirit of it. But when you think of a company, think in our industry, is Taiwan Semi going to deploy these types of models and give away its secret sauce to Samsung and everybody else. No, it's the core of what
the
they
core.
do.
Yeah.
So like that's where I think we start to evolve, where it looks a little bit more like, you know, kind of the data center business overall, where it's a utilization, you know, the main has been seeded. We reach 100% utilization. You run through a little bit of that cyclical spend,
Yeah.
build your capacity out. And then as the utilization drops with the new capacity, the people go out and fill it with more opportunity. So I think we're kind of early into that with it in finding that use case and that monetization case,
Yeah.
which will be interesting to see how it develops. But I mean, again, 2 years ago, this wasn't a thing,
Yeah, no, it's so,
which is still remarkable.
it is. This is so, I'm like we have the pivot from the automotive, we have the pivot now from AI.
Yeah.
If you like Leadership in Manufacturing podcast, don't forget to subscribe, rate, and share the show wherever you get the podcast. Our podcast is for industry decision makers like yourself, providing a personalized experience to elevate your leadership journey. So be sure to tune in. You'll have access to a wealth of practical advice and innovative strategies, boosting and refining your leadership style. So check it out. It's on leadershipinmanufacturing.com. Remember, stay curious, keep learning. See you next time.